And what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Designated Players, an MLS podcast. Now, usually we come on here and we chat all about MLS, its stars, its dramas, and all of its action. But while we take in this action week after week of the first teams in MLS, it's also really important to remember that we're also developing the next generation of stars right here in MLS Next Pro. So today, to highlight that pathway to pro pipeline that MLS has been developing, we are super lucky to be joined by Matty dos Santos, a current Red Bull 2 player at the MLS Next Pro level. Matty, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. I'm also joined here by Connor, my co-host. Connor, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Man, I'm super excited. You know I love a good interview. You know I love to sit down, especially when it talks about that development pathway. We don't really hit on that as much, so it's gonna be really, really exciting to dive into that. So, first off, Matt, tell us a little bit about kind of how you're doing in this new setup. I know you've been there about a year-ish now. How have you been adapting to that? And maybe can you talk to us about how you got there first? Like, how did you get to Red Bull 2 in the Red Bull Academy?
Yeah, to start off with, I started with the academy, obviously starting with the pre-academy and then moving through the ranks in the academy. And then U17 season was a really big one for me. Started getting real competition and started playing kids that were older, 07s, and just getting more experience. And then eventually it got to a point where the second team needed a left back, and I was one of the options for the 17s. So I got called up in May. And then ever since then, I've been with the second team, and it's been a really good experience, playing with older guys, learning the Red Bull philosophy firsthand from players that have played that way their whole lives. So it's been really good. New technical staff as well, moving from the academy to the second team. Everything's been really good with the transition.
Yeah, have you noticed that is really linked together between academy to second team and even in the first team that philosophy kind of stays from the moment you get into the academy all the way up through the top?
Yeah, definitely. Learning from the coaches from the academy and the second team, it's very similar. The only thing I'd say changes is the intensity and the physicalness of the game. But philosophy, we have the same philosophy, the pressing mentality, and obviously that attack minded as a fullback, the attack mindedness.
Well, you mentioned you play at left back, so why don't you tell us a little bit about your style? How do you play that position? If you play any other positions, feel free to throw that in as well. But like, what's your game style like? How would you describe it?
Yeah, I'd say I'm more of a attacking left back for sure. I've been used as a left wing back this season by Ibra too. So I'd say I'm definitely more of an attack minded left back that can also do well in a defensive style formation. We've been doing a lot of work on that in the second team, being more of a defender as well, having that ability to attack. So that's been one of the main focuses this year of getting to be more defensive minded as well.
And so
Andrew kind
that's
of kind of reminds me of Tolkien a little bit. I feel like
yeah,
similar
yeah.
game style.
Do you
Yeah.
find yourself compared to him a lot, Matty?
Academy days for sure. Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
Hey man, that's not a bad link to draw, I'll tell you that. But a little bit not necessarily off script, but just to build off of what you said here. You mentioned Ibrahim Sagaya. How cool is it to learn under him as a former Red Buller himself?
Yeah, it's amazing. The connection that I've had with Ibra has been really good, especially going first team preseason. Being able to have him there as well has been amazing. Having those video sessions as well. It's always a good thing to learn from somebody that's played at the club and has that experience. So it's been fun. Ibra is considered like a friend. We're a family there, so it's been amazing.
Super, super neat. Yeah, I remember watching him back in the day, and it was like, yeah, dude was no nonsense. Really knew how to defend and be a true center back. So it must be really, really fun. But man, I gotta ask you, how's it feel to be a pro soccer player right now? Like that is quite the title for somebody of your age.
Yeah, it took a while to kick in. Like when they first came to me with it really didn't feel real in the moment or even a week after. Really, only when I signed those papers did it really feel like I was becoming a professional and living out that dream. But yeah, it's insane to think because before playing second team as the academy kid, you're kind of you fit in, but you also don't at the same time because you're with these guys that have first team experience and all that. And then being able to sign and officially become a professional soccer player is unreal feeling.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Okay, so I guess pivoting a little bit back to your development, how would you say playing with RBNY 2 and playing in MLS Next Pro has helped your development as a player?
Yeah, as a academy player, I wasn't always the biggest or the fastest or any of that, and still not. But like I've always had the technical ability to compete with the higher players in U17 and U18. So transitioning to Next Pro, it's really just helped me with the physical and learning how to play in a game much more intense than what I have before, especially the training sessions being a lot more intense than say the academy, and learning from the coaches as well. Like you said, Ibra, who's had MLS minutes, has played all over the world. You know, he brings that experience to the younger players, and especially me, learning how to do certain things like the little details that brings you to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, I coached in college for a little bit, and that was something we always talked about was the massive jump between even high school and college is physicality and speed of play and intensity, right? So, did you find it difficult to get up to that level quickly? I mean, I know you mentioned you were kind of floating between certain teams at some time, maybe go to the first team preseason. Do you find it difficult, and do you have somebody who maybe helps mentor you through the process that isn't Ibra? Is it maybe a player or another first team player or something like that?
Yeah, for sure. Transitioning from academy to the second team and even the first team was a lot. Like I've had small injuries, which have been more because of the physical part. But through those injuries, I've gotten stronger, been able to do work with our athletic team to get stronger, to be able to compete with those older guys. Because in this league, you're going to have to go into 50-50s no matter what, how big the guy is. That's just how the game is. So putting some more muscle and all that was really really important. And I'd say for the mentoring part, it's really the whole team. You know, we have guys like Dylan Sullivan, Nathan O'Connor, have played in college, has had those college experiences, and then obviously guys who have played first team like Aiden Jarvis and Julian Tanner. All those guys have had experience training and getting rostered there, so they have that experience as well. When I went to the first team preseason, I had guys during training on the other team telling me like what I could do better, and it was just a different experience, you know. But it was really good, you know. Everybody helps out, even the younger guys when the academy players come up and play. That they can help each other out. We help each other out. They help me out. Everybody helps each other grow and develop.
Man, it's gotta be good to have such a like a fostering environment around everybody and just helpful across the board, I'm sure. Speaking of 50-50s, it'd be crazy if it may be a possibility that one day you're going into a 50-50 with Messi or Suarez or who knows who else is coming into the league at this point. That would be quite the crazy dream. But I guess speaking on the topic of dreams and goals, two-part question here. What are some of your, or at least maybe one of each, a short-term goal and a long-term goal that you have for your career?
Yeah, for short term, I'd say for this season, I definitely for the second team want to make playoffs and make a run at the championship, obviously, but also continue to grow with this team because in the past couple games we've learned and grown so much. But individually, I'd say just get a couple more goals and assists on the stat sheet that help the team to hopefully keep doing well in the league, and then obviously get that playoff spot and make a run at the title. And then long term, obviously, want to play first team and make that MLS debut. Hopefully, start some games sometime soon, you know, and obviously professional goal in the MLS and assists. Those would be amazing.
Yeah, I really like that. I can't, I mean, growing up, I also had those dreams, except I was not nearly as talented as you or any of your teammates. But I know I can share the sentiment, right? Having that play out, but it must be super, super neat to actually have that opportunity. So I'm really excited to continue to watch your development. But we wanted to hit you with a few quick fire questions just to get a feel for you as both as a player, but also as a person, right? Who you are as an individual. So people, because players are not just players; they're also people. So we'd love to kind of dive into who you are as a person. So I'll go ahead and give you the first one here. And you can't say Red Bull on this one because we all know that's the answer for everybody. But who's your favorite team to support that isn't Red Bull?
Um, I don't really watch anybody in Europe. I prefer watching Brasileirão. Obviously, being a
Okay,
Brazilian, I support São Paulo, so they're one of my favorite teams down there.
super neat.
Yeah, that's honestly that's pretty unique for around here. I feel like everybody in the States nowadays, it's Europe or maybe they watch the MLS.
Mm.
Uh, any pregame superstitions you have?
When something's working, I don't really change it. Like if I listen to first game of the season, I listen to certain songs before the game. So I've just kept that up, listening to the same songs. But other than that, I don't think so. I'm trying to think back, but I think it's just kind of my music before the game.
Pivot here. Favorite school subject? What do you like learning in school?
Um, I'd say I'm a history guy. History guy. Yeah.
Very nice. Favorite pre-match meal?
Chicken parm. I love a good chicken parm before the game. Yeah.
That's not too heavy before a game.
I'd say I eat that earlier and then before the game, probably just like a quick snack, banana, just to get that so I don't cramp, the water.
I like it. I like it. Favorite player growing up? Who did you like to idolize your game after or just watch in general?
Obviously, as a Brazilian fullback, I gotta say Marcelo was one of those players. And then of course Neymar, just being one of those players that you can't take your eyes off when you watch.
Very fair. Also one of my favorites. Although I got into the game a little bit later, so it was like right around when he was hitting his prime, so kind of easy to really fall for him.
Mm.
You mentioned music in your pregame superstitions. What kind of music do you like to listen to?
I'd say I'm more of like an R&B type of guy, some hip hop, rap as well. And then when I'm in the mood or like before a game, listen to some Brazilian music like funk or pagode. That's some good stuff too.
A follow-up question on that one. Do you have a favorite artist or a favorite one right now at least?
I'd say Drake's new album, but other than that, not really. I kind of just listen to whatever sounds good, whatever I'm in the mood for.
Like that. I like that. Well, we'll continue on the music trend there. In the locker room, pre-game, pre-session, whatever it may be, who's got the best, and I'll throw it in there too, who's got the worst music taste in the locker room? Who you don't maybe you don't need to name the worst, but who's got the best? Give them some shout out.
Best, I'd have to put Aiden Jarvis up there. Um, Curtis Ofori as well. He usually gets the pregame music before. And then worst, I don't know. I think I'd have to say Audrey just because he doesn't listen to that much music. Being one of the younger guys, he doesn't really get to choose the music or just doesn't listen to it at all.
Okay, I this one kind of just off the spot here, but is there a player when you make it to the first team that you're looking forward to going up against or that you want to go up against? Maybe like a dream opponent.
Mm, yeah, with this Inter Miami team, who wouldn't want to play them? Like the Messi, the Suarez, the Jordi Alba, one of the best left backs in this era. Obviously them, and then another team. If I had to, I'd say Galaxy. I was able to watch the final over in California when the academy was in California for Fest, so we watched that game live, and that one hurt. If being able to play against Galaxy just to get that revenge would be amazing.
That's good prospects for you, Andrew. I
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
mentality already.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Couple more here, then we'll wrap it up here. But I'll go with this one here. If you're not a pro soccer player, what's your dream job? What would you want to do if you weren't doing this?
Oh, I do like cooking, so maybe a chef. Yeah,
I like
that would
that.
probably yeah that would probably be up there.
That's a good one. I think I've only got one left on my list. Dream travel destination that you haven't been to yet.
Probably the Bahamas. I've been to like DR, and that was really nice. and I've been to Brazil. So those obviously Brazil would be number one vacation spot, but somewhere in the Bahamas, the pictures and the videos that you see online, that looks like amazing.
I like it. I like it. Well, let's wrap it up with this one, and you can take as long as you want to answer this one. This one won't be rapid fire. Favorite soccer memory? What's the one that stands out to you that you will never, ever forget?
Mm. Yeah. Oh, I have a couple because obviously being on that U15 team that won playoffs, MLS Next Cup, that was an unreal one. Being able to do it with that group and knowing that from the start of the tournament, we knew we were up there with one of the best teams in the country. So being able to go out there and do what we did and go through that whole tournament, believing that we could, the first game, the second game, even me not being competing with the other academy guys to for starting spots. You know, I didn't start the quarters and then earn my spot for the semis and finals. That was special. And then seeing what Tanner and Jules did in those final minutes, I'll never forget that. And celebrating after that's one of the most unreal feelings that I think I've ever had. And then another one would probably be my first goal with the RB2, which was like a week ago. That
Yeah.
I didn't score it in so long, and then being able to score from a free kick, that was special as well. And having again those guys that I've shared the field with so long, like Jules, Tanner, Audrey, even Jarvis, who's a little bit newer and older that I haven't got to play with, being able to share those that memory specifically with those guys, just another feeling I'll never forget.
And inch perfect, by the way. That was unbelievable. I watched that back like 45 times. I couldn't believe it went where it went. Just an absolute rocket of a finish. But Matthew, thank you so, so much for joining us. We hope you had a good time. Listeners, we hope you enjoyed it as well. This was Matty dos Santos. He is a part of the Red Bull 2 system. He is on the pathway to pro. So make sure you're checking out Red Bull 2 and all of MLS Next Pro on Apple TV. Matty, thanks so much again for being here, and we will see you next time on the next episode of the Designated Players and MLS Podcast. See ya.